On this episode, we're going to be watching the Denver Broncos RPO Plays from their Divisional Round Playoff Game versus the Buffalo Bills. These are going to be plays that the quarterback has the option to either hand the ball off or pass. Sometimes they'll also have the option for the quarterback to keep the ball and run as well, right? So it could be almost like a triple option play, hand the ball off to the running back, quarterback can run, or throw the ball. Broncos do a really good job of incorporating RPOs into their run schemes. They ran a few different ones throughout this game. We're going to watch about 4 of them here. Okay, so first one up, flip the back, run like an inside zone play. Okay. Good. And so the RPO concept down at the bottom of the screen, as you'll see here in a second, they're going to run like a bubble screen we call on the backside, right? So let's go ahead and let it roll. Because the quarterback's making a good decision, as you can see over here, especially once the ball's snapped. All right, so just looking at it from a numbers standpoint, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders over 3 offensive players, right? We got 2 guys that are going to be blocking, 1 guy's catching the ball, not favorable numbers, right? So quarterback does a good job of reading that, understanding that backside linebacker is playing out of the box, hands the ball off, right? So good. We'll watch the blocking scheme more from the other angle. Good decision by the quarterback. Right? Anytime we're going to get a 5-man box, right, it's obviously very favorable to hand the ball off. Don't know this for sure, but I believe this is a play where they're reading that defender. It may just be a numbers play, but as you can see at the snap, he's going to go expand out of the box as number 1 goes on his route, right? So then we'll be left with 5 guys in the box. Offensive line does a good job. Declare the play side linebacker. We got to get to him on the backside now. We could treat this like a man situation, okay? Giving the quarterback time if he wants to throw the ball, be there to block our guy for the run. So it's more like now that I look at the path of the back, it's more like a wide zone play, RPO, right? So left tackle is solo. He does a good job continuing to move his feet after contact, right? He's a little bit inside out, but watching the left tackle here, right? He does a good job once he makes contact of continuing to run his feet, and then he's playing with a really strong inside hand, right? You can see his hand right there, grabbed on, not allowing the guy to cross face, catch hand reach. Sometimes this is referred to, and that inside hand is your catch hand versus the inside move. He could play a little bit lower, but he does a good job of continuing to move those feet on contact. All right, now left guard and center, they're working a combination through this 2 technique up to the linebacker, who they have declared as the Mike in this case, right? So working a single. The center does a really good job here of going flat and working to his helmet to the play side and continuing to run his feet. That's a really good look there by the center. Pretty good job here by the left guard. Initially, I like his aiming point, right? Then he kind of gets washed laterally a little bit. He's not able to get up to that linebacker. I'd love to see him explode through that outside shoulder of the defensive tackle, take his right foot, his inside foot in this case, straight through that shoulder right there, right? If he was able to do that and turn him a little bit, pop his shoulder up a little bit, right, then he'd be able to go more vertical to this linebacker instead of getting washed laterally, not being able to get up to that linebacker. So just a little bit tighter aiming point, I would say, and just trying to think about opening up that play side shoulder on his way up. He does a pretty good job, but the ball ends up cutting back because on the backside they have those man blocks, right? So it's not terrible, but could just be a tad bit better. All right, backside, right guard, right tackle. Really playing heavy inside out, right? So right here we got right guard and our right tackle. They're one-on-one, in this case with the defensive lineman, but the right tackle does a good job of playing heavy inside and then kind of wheeling back out to protect himself from any type of inside move. And also if this linebacker right here were to hit it inside, right, he'd be in a position to take him. Great job here by the right guard. Got the solo block. Right, does a good job playing with inside footwork, getting his hands on him, getting his body where he needs to be, get him on the ground. Good job. Good, and you see the value of running RPOs, right? Look how empty this box gets. Okay? Only one linebacker in there, make him miss, and now we've got a really positive play. Good. This is right here, watching the center. Right, really good job of him playing flat, working to get his helmet to the outside shoulder. Okay, running his feet. Great angle off the ball. Continue to work. Great job. All right, that's a really good look by the center. Run your feet. Boom. Good. All right, you can see a little bit better angle here. The left tackle with that catch hand, that inside hand, the right hand in this case for him playing left tackle. Okay. Good job working his helmet outside, but because he's playing with that strong catch hand right there, even though the guy's playing across his face, he's able to wheel on him and stay connected. Pretty good job there. All right, this one's in the third quarter. A little bit different variation. Throughout this whole game, you'll notice even to start here, the Broncos were flipping the side of their back. Flips them back. And now they're running a GT counter with a bubble screen on the backside going to the bunch. All right, so quarterback has the option to either hand it off or throw it. Decides to hand it off here. We'll watch why from the other side, but even from this angle, you can tell it's a pretty light box. And that backside linebacker is flowing out of the box pretty quick. All right, so again, about 5 here. I'll watch all the blocking schemes from the end zone view. Okay, so let's go over this. So it's very similar to GT counter, but they're pulling their center and their backside tackle. So some teams will do this, especially with that backside 3 technique, right? So on the backside, having this 3 technique right here makes it a little bit more challenging for the center to get him, and a lot of space there. So sometimes the answer for teams will be the man here. Now we're going to pull our center to kick out, right, and then pull our backside tackle to lead through. As we'll see here, the right tackle does a really good job because the center pulls and kicks out. And although the right tackle is supposed to pull for this linebacker, right, you're going to see a defender shooting off the edge coming this way, right? So right tackle adjusts, he pulls, and now he ends up kicking out there. Right, so really good job by the right tackle having his eyes up. And we're short that middle, nobody to block that middle linebacker. The right tackle had to adjust. Good job by the center feeling that defensive end right here. I'll start it over. Okay, the center does a good job right here of he's pulling to kick out that defense end, right? Defense end crashes down really hard, squeezes down when the tackle blocks down, right? So he does a good job of adjusting and ends up logging him like a reach block, right? And then the tackle reads that. Great job by the right tackle. Really good job by the right tackle adjusting. Okay, on the front side, right? Now this is a gap scheme play, right? So putting into that category of gap scheme. On the play side, we're down and away, building combinations where we can. Right here, we're going to build a deuce block, right? Between our tackle and our guard. We're working all the way to that backside linebacker, who's all the way back here right now. So seeing that the location of that linebacker and understanding it's an RPO, and this linebacker may flow out of the box, right? The left guard and left tackle can do a really good job of staying thick in their double team versus the nose. All right, so let's watch this deuce right here. Great job by the guard, great job by the tackle. Completely eliminate that defensive tackle from the A gap, and they're building a wall. Really good job here. Great look at a deuce by left guard, left tackle versus a 2-eye. Their linebacker flows out, so they stay thick on it, build a wall, allow that running back to find the crease. Okay, really good job by the left guard, keeping his base, right? Watch his feet throughout this block. Okay, left guard right here does a great job keeping his base throughout the block. Boom, really good job. Good job by the tackle knocking it over. Nice look. Good, good, good. In the right guard here, right? Seems like an easy block. All you got to do is kind of wall him out, but just really focus on that inside shoulder. And then if he tries to fight over the top to go that way, we just got to keep running our feet and try to get him knocked up the field as much as we can. All right, watch it from the other angle, see if there's anything that we missed. Good. All right, this is a much better angle to watch. Left guard, left tackle. Okay, we're working down through the defensive tackle, blocking down by the guard. We're working all the way to the backside linebacker, in this case right here. All right, so you have a long time to stay on that defensive tackle. Left tackle in this case does a great job of coming down and knocking the hip over of that defensive tackle. The left guard does a really good job of keeping his base, playing low, giving something for the tackle to hit, and then taking control once the tackle leaves. That's a really good job. Good displacement. Nice work. And again, you can see here how this play was supposed to be designed, right? He was going to pull, kick out defensive end. This backside tackle now would have pulled to block number 58 right here. But because we get something off the edge, right, we don't want to leave somebody flying free off the edge. The right tackle does a really good job of now pulling, adjusting, and he ends up kicking out the second element coming off the edge, right? Good. So the first one we saw was like a wide zone RPO with kind of an arrow on the backside. This one was a gap scheme RPO, you know, center tackle counter, and then they're running a bubble screen on the backside. Again, flipping the back. Looks like another variation of wide zone. They're running that same kind of look again with the arrow on the backside. A little bit more favorable numbers to throw the RPO this time, especially when you watch that defender. Now, initially, maybe he was counting and didn't like the numbers. Ends up being a positive play on the ground. And obviously, I don't know exactly what they're reading in their RPOs, whether it's numbers or players. All right, so we're going to flip the back. We're going to run wide zone, it looks like. Yep, to the open side. Got a wide receiver there on the play side helping blocking, but for all intents and purposes, this is the open side. Okay, good. So I'll be interested to see what got them into this, because as you can tell, they went from initially it looks like they're going single here up to this linebacker right here. But then the left guard plays off of it. So I don't know if they called this into a gang call. They felt a lot of movement on the play side. Sometimes there will be a call just to turn everybody into a zone to their right, get off the combinations. And it kind of looks like that happened here a little bit, or it naturally happened. But right now we got a single between our center, right guard, working up to this linebacker. All right, let's watch how they do. I really like this by the right guard. Right? I really like how vertical he is off the ball. Right? If that 3 technique would have played up the field, he would have been in a good position to get his helmet outside initially. The 3 technique plays inside. He stays on his path. Right? Now because of the defensive look, right, with all this inside movement that Mike playing over the top makes it hard to get him. But right here, as much as he can without trying to reach for him, try to take a right turn and run this direction, right? Because inside we're getting a lot of movement. Makes these combinations tough, because we're going to get this guy playing inside, get the defensive end playing inside. Linebacker is going to flow over the top, right? So tough look, but he does a great job initially. Boom. Now take a right turn, try to stay connected. Pretty good look there by the right guard. Even though he doesn't end up getting fully blocked on him, he runs him past the play. Nice look. Good job by the right guard. Good. Another good look by the center too. I like his path, his track off the ball, right? Where he's trying to get to on the defender, he's flat. Good. He gets there. He can wheel back on it, and I can build a wall. Good job. Not a bad job by the right tackle, right? He's got a solo block. He's going to get a lot of inside move here, or a big inside move here, right? So he's got to do a good job of getting his first 2 steps in the ground quick, which he does. He's able to redirect. Now just try to stay on it the best you can, right? Boom. I love the redirection though, because he's taking his first step to get his helmet outside. Now the defense end plays inside. He's got to put his left foot in the ground. Redirect inside. Good job. Good job on the backside cutoff right here by the left tackle. Good, good, good. Nice second play. Positive yards on the ground. Right, some technique saving a couple guys. Right, the right tackle getting saved by having his having his second step in the ground quickly. Right guard's doing a really good job of taking good angles. Right, continue to work. Left tackle is doing a good job of getting his guy cut off. Good. Good decision to hand the ball off. Good looking play. All right, so another version of wide zone RPO. On this one we had that arrow on the backside. Now this one is going to be in overtime, right? Given that bunch formation again, flipping the back. Now there's running, looks like some form of zone at the line of scrimmage. Wide zone with a bubble on the backside. All right, let's watch it from the other angle. All right, a little bit of confusion here. Clearly, backup center's in. Maybe we're not on the same page. Right, with this being an RPO, center probably be working there. If I had to guess, right, this would be like a single working up to this linebacker who'd be flowing that way. You got a catch hand reach on the play side, and then man on the back side. Okay, leaving this guy who's filling in from space or from distance for the play side wide receiver to come block him. Okay, so a little bit of miscommunication here. That's why it's good to have these RPO opportunities for the quarterback, right? He can throw the ball, he can hand the ball off. Now, sometimes it saves us as offensive linemen. We get caught in a bad blocking assignment, bad blocking scheme, and he can throw the ball out there, still get positive yards like you see they do here. Yeah, I mean, if they felt this movement inside, right? Maybe if they're feeling this, I'm trying to guess what they're doing right now, which is never good. But if they felt that type of movement, right, turn this into a double with the left tackle, left guard, and then we could work up to him, to that linebacker. As you can see here, the left tackle gets his eyes out and sees that safety coming down, gets his eyes on him. I think just go vertical here. If they were on the same page, communicated, right? Just go vertical here, and this linebacker's gonna come right to you. Now you'd be running one-on-one with a corner, right? Which is always kind of a favorable matchup for the offensive line or for the offense. Okay, so make sure we're on the same page, and that's why it's so important. If you come into the game and you are a backup, you haven't been in the game the whole time, that you're on it pregame, right? Still preparing like you're going to be a starter, because you could get thrown into the game right here. This is overtime. Center gets thrown into the game, and there's miscommunication. Doesn't hurt them here. They're still able to get positive yards, but it could have been a lot worse. All right, let's watch it real quick. Not a lot of technique stuff to talk about. Another version of wide zone RPO. Cool. All right, so those were some of the RPO plays that the Broncos ran in their divisional playoff game versus the Buffalo Bills. Haven't given the quarterback the ability to either hand the ball off or throw it. Sometimes in that case, you have the third option of the quarterback run as well. They utilize these in a variety of different ways, but you can see how much it manipulated the box, given favorable matchups, 5-on-5 opportunities, with a 5-man box. We saw wide zone, mid zone RPO, and then we also saw a gap scheme RPO with that center tackle counter. So there's many different ways you can tag pass concepts onto your run plays, but they do affect the blocking a little bit, as we saw here, especially with those zone plays on the backside being alert to man. So if the quarterback throws the ball, he's not getting smoked right in the face. So that's it for today. Appreciate you guys watching. Feel free to like these videos, share them, comment. I'll try to do my best to respond to the comments if you feel like leaving a note there or anything like that. But that's it. Appreciate it. Thank you.